Hi everybody, welcome to You Need Flow. I'm Skylar, this is my home lab, and today we're going to be focusing on more of a recovery workout. And what I want you to do first is to start opening up your shoulders. So you're going to find a wall or a pillar or even a door frame. And thankfully I have my handy heavy bag here, so that can also be helpful as well, as long as it doesn't move too much. You never know when you're going to come across a heavy bag, so every time you see it, make sure you practice your chest stretch. I want you to bend your shoulder and your elbow at 90 degrees and put your entire forearm on your door frame or pillar, whatever it is that you have. And you're going to step past that object with the same side leg. We're doing our right arm, so you're going to step past with your right leg. And then see if you can start turning and opening up your chest over the opposite shoulder. And then you'll exhale, slowly start to release that stretch. Inhale, start to lengthen through the spine and see if you can twist back, looking over your opposite shoulder. Exhale, slowly release. A lot of the times, especially if you spend a lot of time in a sedentary position or even looking over, working at a desk, whatever it may be, we get a lot of tightness in this front area. So this is a great way to slowly start to open up as we use this as a dynamic stretch to warm up for our flow today. We're slowly starting to exhale and release. Now let's switch sides. Opposite elbow and forearm is going to be up on your pillar or your door frame. Keep that angle at 90 degrees. Step past the object with your opposite foot and try to turn and look over your opposite shoulder. Exhale, slowly release and come back. Inhale, start to twist, open up as you look over your opposite shoulder. We'll do that 2 more times, just like that on this side. And flow is actually a psychological state that allows you to be in optimal activation, to be in the moment, to really get the most out of what you're doing. So the point of this class is to try to get you into optimal activation where there's not boredom and you're not overly stressed or anxious, but you're able to stay focused within your body to find some optimal relaxation. So what I want you to do today is to use your breath to try to stay within your body, and that will help you stay in a nice relaxed state. So what I want you to do next is we're going to come down to the ground on all fours, and we're going to start progressing into a hand walk. So from all fours, you're going to keep your hips stacked on top of your knees, and you're going to slowly walk one hand out at a time. Nice and controlled breathing. See how far you can stretch out. And then one at a time, under control, without rocking side to side, you're going to try to walk your hands all the way back up to all fours. You can stay there, keep walking forward and back with a nice slow and steady breath, inhaling and exhaling. Or you can slowly progress with me. Keep there or tuck your toes under, push your hips up to downward dog. And this is the next level here. You're going to walk all the way out as far as you can, actually past a plank position if you can, as long as you can maintain your core. And then walk your hands all the way back through plank, and then pushing your hips back through downward dog. And if you have enough flexibility right now, you might even be able to walk all the way back up towards your toes. One hand at a time, maintain your breath. It's completely fine for you to stay on your knees. Do this from a quadruped position. And maybe you don't even go past through plank. That's fine as well. We're just working on engaging the core and working on our shoulder strength and mobility. See how far you can really maintain that core control, working on these hand walks. This is a great way to build upper body strength and also to teach you a different way from getting up from on the ground. If you ever find yourself laying flat on your belly and you've been looking for some different techniques for standing up, I love teaching the down dog get up as a way to gain strength, but also mobility and flexibility. Great job. Last one. And if you're already up on your toes, then you can bend your knees, come back down to your knees. And then we'll swivel our hips over to this 90-90 position. So we're all seated on the ground. And I want your front leg to be bent and your back leg to be bent as close to 90 degrees as you can. Okay, we're coming into this shin box. So look at this box of shins that you're making around you. And we're going to start rotating through the torso to start warming up a little bit more, gaining more range of motion through the spine. So the left leg is forward, the right leg is back. The left hand comes outside of your left knee, and you're going to start to inhale, grab onto the rib cage first, just to start to identify what this feels like. Think about grabbing your rib cage and pulling it open one at a time, opening up your chest, your shoulder, and then see if you can release your arm and stretch back behind you. And your exhale brings you all the way back, threading the needle underneath your left wrist. See how far you can reach through and back. And then we'll inhale again. Same thing. Try to really twist all the way through the torso. You're opening up, and exhale, twist all the way back through. So this flow video today is trying to help you focus on your breathing as you flow through this nice regeneration workout. This is a great one to do on an off day, especially if you work out 6 days a week. This could be a good 7th day. Or anytime you're just feeling tight or sore or stressed, it's a great way to just loosen up your tissues and get you back into the right mindset. One more time here. See how far you can reach through. And then listen carefully here as you start to unwind. Come back to this seated position and see if you can transition without moving your feet in space. So look at where your feet are in space, and you want to plant your feet right where they are. You might bring your hands back behind you for support, or for a little added challenge, bring your arms in front of you. See if you can lift your knees, plant your feet where they are in space, and come into the opposite position. Now, depending on how you started, this might have you facing backward. And so if you'd like to be able to see the video, and of course I want to be able to see you as well, then you might just adjust there. Or you can try to use your auditory skills and see if you can practice this movement just by listening. So now the right leg is in front. You're going to bring your right hand to the side, and we're going to practice our breathing here. Grab your left hand onto your rib cage and see how much you can start rotating through the rib cage, through your chest, all the way out, extending the arm with a nice deep inhale. And when your exhale is ready, start exhaling all the way around, reaching as far through as you can underneath this front arm. Try to find stillness as you enter into the flow state. Try to be as in your body as you can. With each breath, you're thinking about how everything feels. Are you noticing more tightness on this side or soreness? Are you noticing that this feels any different? Maybe you rely on one side more than the other, which most of us do. We have a dominant side. Really try to reach as far through as you can. And inhale, twisting through your thoracic spine, creating as much movement and mobility as you can. We'll do one more here, all the way through, and slowly come back up through center. Now we're just going to lay on our side and start stretching through our shoulder rotation a little bit. Now, one thing that can be really helpful is if you have a pillow or a handy dandy foam roller or a yoga block or something like that, it's great to use that as a pillow so that your neck stays in a nice neutral spine. I want you to stack your knees on top of each other, 90-90, okay? We're all about the angles here, all about alignment. And then your bottom arm, we're laying on our right side right now. Your bottom arm is straight, and you're going to bend the elbow at 90 degrees. Take your free left hand, grab it onto your hand, the back of your right hand, and see if you can gently stretch it down as if you were reaching your fingertips down toward your knee. Now, make sure you're not breaking at the wrist. You want to try to focus on keeping this arm nice and straight. And notice that as you start pressing your wrist down towards the ground, you should be feeling a stretch through your shoulder. And you want to keep the rest of your body nice and stable. So your shoulders are still stacked. See how much range of motion you can gain in your shoulder here. Inhale to slowly release. Exhale, stretch a little bit further, finding your breath. Inhale to slowly release. Exhale to stretch a little bit further. So today, all of these movements are also going to help you with your posture. If we focus on posture, we can also help identify where we have some trouble or tight areas, or maybe even holding stress in certain areas. So one tip that I always like to say is anytime you pass your reflection, whether it's a mirror or you walk past a car and you can see yourself, use that as a reminder to check back in with your posture. Notice how you're standing, because sometimes how we look is often not how we feel. So you might be hunched over without even really noticing it because your mind is focused on so many other things. So using those reflections as a reminder is a great way to check your posture throughout the day. Remind yourself to pull your shoulder blades back and lift your chest nice and proud. One more here. Now we're going to transition through center. You can come off of your little pillow there and come through center. Before we do the opposite side, we're going to practice our pelvic tilts. So right now you're in the beginning of a glute bridge position. Your feet are flat on the ground. Dig your heels into the ground and try to keep your hips on the ground. Think about your sit bone, your pelvic girdle here is on the ground. Inhale as you anteriorly pelvic tilt to create as much space between your ground and your low back as possible. Grab your hands, see if you can find that space. Exhale, pull your belly button in as you squeeze your core and press your back into the ground. Posterior pelvic tilt. You're tucking your tailbone as much as you can. Now use your hands. See if you can find that space. You shouldn't be able to dig your hands underneath you because your core is so strong. One more time. Inhale, start to arch away. Find that space as much as you can. Notice what it feels like to control just this motion here, your pelvic tilt. Exhale, press your back into the ground, engaging your core, creating this nice, strong posture here. And then slowly release and find neutral. What's in the middle? Being able to identify your neutral pelvic tilt can be really helpful when you're thinking about posture, so that when you do your posture check after you pass your reflection, then you'll be able to see if you're in anterior pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt, or neutral, and find that position to remind yourself to readjust. Now we're just going to twist to the left side, but I'm actually going to twist all the way over so that I can still see you and you can still hear me. And you're going to rest your head on your little pillow. Stack your knees back into this 90-90 position. Make sure your shoulders are stacked on top of each other. Now the left arm is straight. Then bend your elbow at 90 degrees. Now your right arm is helping out here with a little bit of assisted work. We're trying to stretch that forearm down towards the ground as if you were reaching for your knees, keeping your elbow where it is in space, directly in front of that shoulder. And then inhale, slowly release. Exhale, slowly start to stretch out the shoulder, flowing from one movement to the other with your breath. In Ashtanga Yoga, a lot of the postures are held for 5 breaths, which could typically be about 30 seconds or so. Some postures, like the headstand and the shoulder stand, are even held for 10 breaths. So you want to use your breath to almost time how long you're holding these postures. That's a great way of making sure you're holding your breath. Rather than setting a timer for 30 seconds, you might not be breathing appropriately during that time. So it's a great way to make sure you're maintaining your focus on your breath so that you can keep your body in a nice, relaxed state to ensure that you're able to lengthen and move as much as possible. So keep finding this nice stretch here. And next, we'll slowly go into our supine position one more time. We're going to release the head, bring your pillow over to the side. And now on your own, I want you to try those pelvic tilts again. Find your hip bone so that you can identify what that feels like. Imagine you're holding a bowl. Your pelvis is your bowl, and you're tilting your bowl forward and back, filling out a little bit of the insides each time. And ultimately, for neutral spine, you want to be able to find yourself in the middle so that you're not spilling out your bowl. Inhale as you arch your back away. Exhale as you pull your belly button in. And now we're going to transition back into all fours. You can do that however you'd like, or you can try rocking your knees into your chest, rocking all the way forward, maybe tucking your ankles up at the top. Press your hands into the mat and see if you can scoop your knees all the way back under control. Now you're going to push your hips back into child's pose. Reach your fingertips out as far as you can. And then slowly start walking your fingertips over to the right so you get a nice stretch through your side. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Slowly start walking your fingertips to the other side. Nice stretch to the side. Deep inhale. Trying to keep your hips back. Deep exhale. And then slowly walk your fingertips all the way back through center. You're going to bring your hands back up towards your knees. So now you're sitting back on your heels as much as you can. One at a time, you're going to start walking your hands out. Remember this from the beginning. This is kind of like your hand walk. But now we're pushing ourselves back into child's pose. See how far you can reach your fingertips forward. Maybe you can relax your forehead on the ground. If that's too much for you, just go ahead and bring a block. Maybe you can rest your head on a block. Now pay attention to your shoulders. This is your posture here. Can you pull your shoulders down and back a little bit more? And then turn your left thumb up and reach your arm as high as you can. Very minimal motion. Slowly lower down. We're going to alternate right, left, as you reach and twist your thumb up. Inhale to lift up and exhale to release. Inhale to lift, exhale to release. You're trying to see how high you can lift that shoulder blade up and back without twisting through the torso. And then slowly start to rock forward back into all fours, and we're going to slowly roll through our cat-cow. We'll just take a standard cat-cow here to flow with your breath. Inhale as you drop your belly down for cow. Exhale as you tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin for cat. Notice your pelvic tilt here. Can you identify which position your pelvic tilt is in? As you move through these postures, inhale for cow, exhale for cat. We're working on posture here. One more time each. Inhale for cow, exhale for cat. Now slowly find neutral. Find that middle ground. This is a great way to help practice your posture so that you can adjust your own posture on your own just by looking at your reflection. Tuck your toes, keep your knees bent, and see if you can walk your feet up to your hands, coming into this forward fold with bent knees. Keep your knees bent. Inhale, start to rise up, Uttanasana. Tuck your tailbone here. Reach your arms up as far as you can. If your shoulders allow, maybe you can bring your palms together. Fierce, powerful posture here. Inhale, slowly start to straighten the legs, and exhale, release your arms by the side. Here we come into Tadasana, mountain posture. Standing here nice and strong, maybe we bring our feet about hip width apart. Turn your palms forward, shoulders back. If you have a mirror near you, check your posture, see how you are. Standing here in a nice, strong posture can be a great way to increase your confidence. So maybe if you're going into a meeting or a presentation or a big social event, try to stand there, check on your posture, see how much you can engage all of your muscles, standing as broad as you can. Imagine there's a string pulling your spine up towards the ceiling, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way up to the top of your head, lifting you nice and long. Find that neutral pelvic tilt and stand here. How do you feel? Try to find some powerfulness or confidence in this posture. So that can also be a reason to improve your posture and just to keep yourself focusing on how you're standing. Now we'll slowly take our pelvic tilt from standing and then take our way down to the ground. Hands on your hips. This is just as we did lying on our back from our cat-cow position on all fours. Now we're going standing. See how much you can tilt your pelvis into anterior pelvic tilt, arching your back. Remember, this is arching your back away from the ground. And then tucking your tailbone, posterior pelvic tilt. See how much you can engage those glutes. Tilt it back. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, anterior pelvic tilt. Try not to arch everything else back. We're just trying to control the pelvic girdle. Exhale, tuck the tailbone as much as you can. And inhale, find neutral. What is your neutral posture? We'll take a sun salutation all the way down. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Pull your belly button in. Inhale, lengthen the spine, looking forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into plank. Hold plank for 2 deep breaths. Find neutral here. In plank, you might even play around with your pelvic tilt so that you can find what is in the middle. Find that neutral position. On your next exhale, bend your elbows, hug them into your side body as you slowly lower down, and then inhale, press up. Lift your chest, pull your shoulder blades back, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, push your hips back, downward dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then slowly rise up on your toes, bend your knees, push your hips up and back as you look forward, and we're coming all the way through to come to a seat. So let's go ahead and come to a comfortable seat, legs are crossed. See if you can sit up nice and tall. And if this is difficult for you, we've been focusing on posture, so check back in with your posture. If this is difficult for you and you're hunched forward, maybe you lift your sit bones up a little bit by sitting on a cushion, a block, a textbook, something like that, that can just rise your hips up a little bit more. So knowing your foundational and functional movements can help you decrease pain, but also just feel better throughout the day and move more efficiently. So next, what we're going to do to finish off the day is to practice alternate nostril breathing to help you maintain your flow state in whatever you have coming your way today. So your left hand can just relax on your left knee or come into whichever mudra you feel most comfortable with. And your right hand is going to be used to control one nostril at a time. So you're going to use your thumb and your ring finger here. Your thumb is going to come to your right nostril and your ring finger to your left nostril. Now, of course, if you do that at the same time, then you really have to breathe through your mouth. So we're only going to do one at a time. I want you to bring your thumb to your right nostril first, and you're going to inhale through your left nostril as much as you can, and then close off that left nostril and exhale it out through your right. Notice how you're breathing through one nostril at a time. Now inhale through the right as much as you can. Close that off and exhale it out through the left. We're going to keep continuing through this. Inhale through the left. Close it off and exhale through the right. So each time you inhale, you're transitioning, closing off a nostril and exhaling. After you exhale, you inhale through the same nostril, switch it, and exhale through that. So we're creating this purifying flow of energy through one side to the other side. And as we focus on this breathing, we're also maintaining our posture. And by focusing on your breath, you can also help enhance your creativity and your productivity by creating a clear mind. So you can stay here and repeat this as many times as you feel comfortable. And once you're done, I encourage you to just relax your arms by your side and finish with a nice clearing breath, inhaling through both nostrils as much as you can sip in, and then sigh out through your mouth. Maybe you stay here and take a few other breaths if that feels good. So this flow video was specifically for recovery and regeneration to help you focus on your posture and reset any pain or stiffness that you might have through your torso, through your core. And we'll continue practicing through our movements and through our flow state. I hope you can find your flow state more often in different activities that you're doing, even through work. Try to keep yourself in the moment and present and mindful. And feel free to send me an email with any questions you have at skylar@youneedthelab.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram for all these updates that we have. We have some great new videos coming to you from all different aspects of health, whether it be movement through our exercise videos or even nutrition through our private chef videos. Stay tuned, and we look forward to bringing you more to come. Great job today. We're going to pound it out. Peace.